Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Obon service. And it's so nice again to see everyone here in person. Hello also to all of you viewing us on Zoom, and a special welcome to anyone who is attending for the first time. So we will begin our service with the ringing of the kansho, followed by sambujo, which is on page 24 in the service book, and that's if you can't see the screen, followed by Hyobyakumon, and then we're going to be doing Amida Sutra on page 103. So now we'll have the ringing of the kansho.
On this occasion of the West Los Angeles Buddhist Temple's annual observance of Obon Dharma service, we are gathered here to express our gratitude and appreciation to Amida Buddha for awakening us to boundless wisdom and compassion of the Buddha. The origins of Obon can be traced to the Ulanbana Sutra that relate to the story of Moggallana, one of the disciples of Shakyamuni Buddha. Ulanbana means to be liberated from a spiritual state of suffering and affliction caused by greed, one of three poisons in our defiled minds. We, as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, even with our defiled minds, joyfully reflect on the primal vow of Amida Buddha, which enable us to realize supreme enlightenment. On this morning, we gathered here at our temple to hear the teaching of Amida Buddha's primal vow as clarified and transmitted to us by Shinran Shonin, the opportunity given by our loved ones to resolve the matter of the great importance of our afterlife. Let us deeply entrust ourselves to Amida Buddha and recite the name of the Buddha as the expression of our gratitude and appreciation to the Buddha's benevolence for settling our birth in the Pure Land. I, Shak Koho, so humbly recite the name of the Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu. Namman.敬って大慈大悲の阿弥陀如来の御前に申し上げます。本日ここに東山西羅浮仏教会裏本会を務めるにあたり、如来の御前を称言し、経典を読受してこの上なき仏頓を感謝申し上げます。そもそも裏本会は仏弟子木蓮尊者の故事に始まり、亡くなった上の人々を忍びつつ、仏法を弔問する法会であります。顧みれば、私どもは日々、餓鬼道に落ちる因を作り続けております。我欲を募らせ、憎しみに駆られて、互いに傷つけ合っているありさまは、まさに餓鬼に等しいと言わねばなりません。餓鬼道の攻め苦に遭うのは、一人木蓮尊者の母だけではありません。思えば阿弥陀如来は、このような私どもを救おうと願い、本願他力の道を成就されました。宗祖親鸞上人は、本願を信じ、念仏して、浄土に往生することのみが、自ら救われる道であり、それがまた世で正常の部も兄弟を救う道でもあると仰せられました。この上は本願の念仏を相続して、同房互いに助け合い、命の尽きた時は安養の浄土に往生して、右上利益の本会を遂げさせていただきます。ここに西羅浮仏教会駐在開教師釈候補謹んで申し上げます。右折阿弥陀経如で我門一時仏大社へ国旗十旗功徳音大比丘衆1250人区海税大阿羅漢小知識長老舎利法マカモ県連マカカ所マ かか千年まかくちらりはたしゅりはんだがなんだあなんだらごらはだいびんずるはらだかるだいまかこひなはくらあぬるだにょぜとしょだいでしびょしょぼさまかさもんじゅしりほうじあいたぼさけんだかだいぼさしょじんぼさよにょぜとしょだいぼさぎゅしゃくだいかんと無料書店大祝二次仏語長老シリホ十で祭法果十万の仏道有世界名和極楽合道有仏語阿弥陀根源大説法シャリホヒドガコ妙意極楽合国修上無宿単樹昇楽光明極楽シャリホ極楽国土七十乱順七十羅網七十五十海税司法主相異女税公被告明和極楽シャリホ極楽国土牛ポチ白毒水十万号中地大順に根社富士四辺街道金言瑠璃ハリ五条上右老閣薬医金言瑠璃ハリ社交釈衆名の二言直視地中蓮華大尿舎利小式小公王式王公釈式釈公白式白公微妙公家シャリホ極楽国土上十尿税功徳将軍ウシャリホ非部国土調査天学黄金維持昼夜六時に万だらけ五国修上上位小単各位英国上州名家供養他法十万の仏即位直事件東本国凡直教行シャリホ極楽国土上十尿税功徳将軍武士シャリホ非国上主従奇妙雑式市長白虎空弱オムシャリ下領便が愚名市長税商首長長夜六時水和下音五音延長五根五 海分八正道分尿税東方合同修助門税恩に開出念仏年法年祖舎利法尿物医師長実税裁法証書小医者が非部国土無三幕主舎利法五部国土小無三幕土神明画教氏税所主張改税阿弥陀部抑療法温泉入変化少佐舎利法非部国土未付水道商法50十法羅門水未明音非尿百千十学同時草門税恩社会時年上念仏年法年相指針舎利法五部国土上重尿税功徳将軍舎利本お如意運が非仏が今後阿弥陀舎利法非部公明無量生実報国無償証下税公合意阿弥陀舎利法非仏寿命五人民無量無辺阿僧義公公明阿弥陀舎利法阿弥陀部成仏以来横根実行舎利法非仏無量無辺正門弟子会やらかい非税三十師匠の知消防殺種薬部尿税舎利法非部国土上重尿税功徳将軍舎利法極楽国土修上少者改税阿弥バチご中他う一生不生ご主人他非税三十小の知識単価無料無辺阿僧義公摂舎利法修上門者応答発願願書異国小医者が特養尿税少女善人空営一生舎利法不可一生善言福徳因縁徳消非国舎利法薬善男子善尿人門説阿弥陀部修持名号脈一日脈二日脈三日脈四日脈五日脈六日脈七日一心不乱五人臨妙十字阿弥陀部幼少小寿現代午前税に順次神父天道即徳往生阿弥陀部極楽国土舎利法が健税利健 四言訳主者門で拙者応答発願
消費国土
シャリホニョガコンジャ三段阿弥陀仏不可思議功徳
逃亡薬
薬阿宿微仏趣味創仏大趣味仏趣味公仏
妙音部
尿税と合賀者修正仏各王合国水工上絶相
天風三
三千大先生解説上実言尿等修上
等身前
小
小三
三不可思議功徳一切勝負小五年行シャリホ
南方
世
世界
界有日合道仏妙門公仏大円見仏無味道仏
無料
小
小
人
人
物尿税と合賀者修正仏各王合国水工上
絶相
天風三千大先生解説上実言尿等修上
等身前小
三
三
不可思議功徳一切勝負小五年行
シャリ
違法
ホ
裁法世界有無量図仏無量創仏無量動物
過去文
大名仏放送仏上皇仏尿税と合賀者修正仏各王合国
水工上絶相
天風三千大先生解説上実言尿等修上等身税小三
不可思
思
議
議功
功
徳一切勝負小五年行シャリホ北方世界
無縁見物
最小音仏南小仏日小仏毛明仏尿税と合賀者修正仏
各王合国
水工上絶相偏風三千大先生解説上実言
尿等
修
修
上等身で小三不可思議功徳一切勝負
小五年行
シャリホ芸法世界有志士仏妙門仏妙公仏脱魔仏報道仏自法仏
尿税と
合賀者修正仏各王合国水工上絶相偏風三千
大先
世
生
界説上実言尿等修上等身で小三
不可思
思
議
議功徳一切勝負小五年行シャリホ情報世界
無本の分
宿王仏工場仏高校仏大円見仏座敷法慶言神仏
チャラ
十
十王
王仏法慶徳仏権一切義仏尿趣味戦仏尿税と
合賀者修
小
正
仏各王合国水工上絶相偏風三千大先生会
戦場
実
実
言
言
尿等修上等身で小三不可思議功徳
一切勝負
小五年行シャリ法尿意運河学校名医一切勝負小五年
年
行
行シャリ翻
薬
訳
善難師善尿人門で小仏小説名行教名さ絶小善難師
全4人
会一切小仏偶小五年海徳風回転大穴くたら三脈三宝大
絶好シャリ翻
尿等回答真珠学校牛小仏小説シャリ法脈二 異発願根発願
東本願翌章阿弥陀仏国者で上人と海徳不大天大阿那くたら三脈三宝大大非国土脈異小脈根性脈東小抵抗者利法小善男子善女人脈信者大東本願小非国土者利法尿が根者小三小仏不可思議功徳一小仏と役小説が不可思議功徳二差で言釈迦牟尼仏の偉人な手牛寺のおしゃば国土公辱悪性公辱権辱煩悩辱修上辱名辱中徳阿のくたら三脈三宝大一生修道節税一切政権南市司法社利法統治がお公辱悪性行使難事徳阿のくたら三脈三宝大一切政権摂氏南市司法税人南司教医者利法牛者ビク一切世間にアシュラと文部小説官に真珠さらいにこうせん阿弥陀経ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブガニシクドク明道聖祭道本も大心おうじょあんなこナマンダツナマンダツナマンダツナマンダツナマンダツナマンダ。
So now I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Reverend Brian Nagata. So Reverend Nagata was born and raised in Fowler, California, and was active in YBA, taught Dharma school, and served on several BCA committees through the years. He now lives in Dublin, California, in the San Francisco Bay Area, and is a member of the Buddhist Church of Oakland. He served as a director of the Institute of Buddhist Studies, editor of Will of Dharma, volunteer staff for the BCA Center for Buddhist Education, and serves on several committees of the Jodo Shinshu International Organization. He's an advisor to the University of California, Berkeley East Asian Library, the Ho Center for Buddhist Studies at the University of Toronto, the Advisory Council for the University of Chicago Divinity School, and the American Buddhist Study Center. He works for BDK America as Director of Education Programs. And just a little background on BDK. BDK America is the U.S. branch of Bukkyo Dendo Kyokai, the Society for the Promotion of Buddhism, an international organization with headquarters in Tokyo, Japan. As a non-sectarian organization, BDK promotes better understandings of Buddhism through its publications, community activities, and academic programs at major universities. And they have provided us several books, one which is called The Teaching of Buddha, and the other one called Jewels. And then they also provide us calendars annually. So now I would like to invite Reverend Nagata to come and give his Dharma talk in both English and Japanese.
Please join me in a moment of reflection. Even though I am in Amida's embrace, my evil passions obstruct my sight, and I cannot see Amida's light. However, great compassion always shines on me untiringly. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning. Happy Obon. It was a little warm up there. Chanting. I hope everyone's comfortable here. I'm happy to be able to join with you today as you observe Obon. I've spent most of my life, my working life at least, in working for Mitsutoyo, the company that was earlier explained, that was founded by Mr. Ehan Numata, who came from a Jodo Shinshu temple family in Hiroshima. And he has a very interesting life story. He came to Los Angeles actually about 100 years ago, and he was assigned by our mother temple Nishonganji to the Los Angeles Betsuin, where he helped out, and he actually went to Hollywood High School to learn English. And I remember on his last trip to America, I took him to Hollywood High School, and he says, "Gee, it's sure changed." But he had been here almost like 80 years before that. So, Los Angeles changed a lot in that time also. But he had a extraordinary dream in his life. He came from a temple family, and so he wanted to do something for Buddhism. But his brother, he wasn't the eldest child, so his older brother took over the temple. And so he was free to do whatever he wanted, but he still wanted to do something. And so he came to America, worked at LA Betsuin, and started to learn English at Hollywood High School. And then he went to UC Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley. And he was one of the first Japanese students at UC Berkeley. And this was during the 1920s, during the time when anti-Japanese feelings were starting to grow in America and California. And he and his fellow Nisei students wanted to do something to show America that Japanese were not bad. And so they started a publication called The Pacific World, and to share articles about Japan, Japanese history, Japanese culture, and also about Buddhism with the American public. And they published this magazine and sent it to public officials, American Congress people, libraries, and universities all over the country. So this is like I said, almost 100 years ago he was doing this. And they were able to print these books or these magazines by through donations that they received. They used to go up and down the state and they would do shibai performances. They would do like plays and things at the temples, and then members would donate money to come and see them. And so with this money, they were able to print the books, or the magazines. However, after several issues, this was during the Depression era, and so at that time the Japanese community didn't have much money, and so the publication went under. And this unfortunate incident actually was his incentive for becoming wealthy. He realized that if you wanted to do anything in life, you had to have money. And so he was determined that he was going to become rich. But he was determined to become rich because he wanted to do something for Buddhism, not for himself. And so he devoted his life to building this company, Mitsutoyo. Even the company name, Mitsutoyo, Mitsu means three, and Toyo is abundances. But the three abundances he was talking about actually were the three treasures, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And so our company name is even Buddhist, even though most people don't realize that. And here in Southern California, our offices are in City of Industry in Hacienda Heights. We have a big plant and office there. And our American headquarters are in Chicago now. But he devoted his whole life to spreading an understanding of Buddhism. We've published over 9 million copies of that Teaching of Buddha book. It's in 40-something languages throughout the world. And one of the tasks that I'm assigned to is we're translating the teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha, the Tripitaka, the Buddhist Tripitaka, into English. It was Mr. Numada's dream that as Buddhism spread to the Western world, all of the teachings should be made available in English. So he started this project that we would translate all of the teachings. So I don't know if you've ever seen a book of what the teachings of Buddha look like, but I always explain that Jesus only lived a short time. So the Bible is small like this, it's about this big, right? Whereas the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, lived a long time and he taught for many years. And he came in contact with so many people with all their problems that he wanted to help. And so all of these teachings are compiled together in what we call the Tripitaka. And there are 100 volumes of the Chinese version. And they're like the LA phone book. If you remember what the phone book, it's like this thick. There's 100 volumes. So if you're Buddhist and you want to carry on our Buddhist Bible, you'd have to carry a trailer with you to carry all the teachings. So he's tasked us in Berkeley with translating one by one each sutra. And some of those sutras haven't been looked at for probably 5 or 6 centuries. And so the version we're using is a classical Chinese version. And it's getting harder and harder to find people that can read and translate classical Chinese into English. So of the 7,000 or 8,000 texts that we need to translate in the Tripitaka, we've done about 70 in 20 years. So I have good job security for the next 300 or 400 years. But hopefully this project will continue on as long as the company, Mitsutoyo America, continues to grow, and we're able to fund this project. Another project that I'm involved with locally here is we have Buddhist programs at major universities in North America and in Europe. And UCLA here is one of our programs. I was just meeting with the vice director yesterday, and we were talking about programs that we can do for the UCLA community and here in Southern California. So everyone asked me, well, you're supposed to be a minister, so which temple are you assigned to? So actually, I'm not assigned to a temple, and I'm mostly known to everyone as just Brian, because I work at Mitsutoyo at the company. And however, they had asked me to become ordained as doing my work as part of spreading Buddhism as one aspect of being a priest. So that's why I'm here. So this morning, all of us are here observing Obon for this year, and it's been a strange 3 years, I think, for everyone with this COVID pandemic, but I'm glad all of you are able to join us today. I'm sure these last 3 years of your lives, as well as my life, have been really something unexpected. And I think it's come to help me realize that I'm only here because of the support, the compassion, the sacrifices, and the direction that I've received from so many people, so many things, so many different forms of life have all contributed to me being here today. The Buddha and Shinran often talked about our endless blind passions in the three poisons: greed, anger, and ignorance. And unfortunately for me, blind passions have total control over my being. I can't do anything by myself without thinking of myself. Even though I wear this robe and I try my best to follow the teachings of the Buddha, I'll be the first to admit that I still talk bad about others. I do stupid things. And sometimes I do things that aren't even legal. Closer to home for me, I'm diabetic. And yet, maybe like many of you, if I'm offered a piece of pie, a piece of chocolate, or caramel ice cream, or In-N-Out French fries, I won't endure, I won't hold back, and I'll enjoy it. Even though I know it's probably contributing to my return to the Pure Land even that much quicker. When I was small, I was very lucky that I was able to enjoy my young years with my great-grandparents. And being the oldest great-grandson, I was always the favorite. But it was now more than 60 years ago, I remember, when my great-grandfather was in the hospital and going to pass away. And my father relayed to me the last moments of my great-grandfather's life, and he said, you know, it's unusual what Ji-chan said, what Grandpa said. His last words in Japanese were, "Shinitakunai, shinitakunai. Namanda, namanda, shinitakunai. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. I don't want to die. I don't want to die." And even now, I can never forget my father telling me these words. But I realized that this is exactly what Shinran was also talking about. My Oji-chan had no desire to leave this world and to return to the Pure Land. And I am no different. I know that I'm going to be the first person that's going to live forever. I'll get a little old and a little wrinkly, but I'm going to live forever. I have no desire to go to the Pure Land, and my ego tells me I can live forever. So I have this great idea, and I wanted to share it with you this morning. I know every temple is concerned about fundraising. I hope you'll buy a West LA t-shirt, temple t-shirt. They're selling new t-shirts, new designs. I got one last night. But I had this great idea, and I thought, oh, I'll share it with you guys this morning. Maybe you think the same way as I do. So have you seen these green bags? Has anyone ever used these? These green bags, I got it at Bed Bath & Beyond. So if you use your 10% coupon, it's $9.99 a bag. But if you get your coupon, you can get discount. And so this is the bag. I don't know if you've heard of this bag. So what you do is you put fruits and vegetables in here, and they'll last for like 3 or 4 weeks. Like, bananas get bad after 3 or 4 days, but if you put your banana in here, you can keep it for like at least 2 weeks. And what it is this bag, even though you can't see it, has little holes in it. So I guess the theory is that anything that's picked, fruit and vegetable, it's in the process of dying, and as the things are dying, they're giving off a gas, and so that's what makes things die quicker. The fruits and vegetables, when you have them sitting there, they die quicker because the gas is around them. So you put the fruit and vegetables in here, and the gas comes out of the holes, and so there's no gas near the fruit and vegetables. So this bag even says if you put it on like flowers, I know all of you have butsudan flowers, every night if you cover your flowers with this, the flowers will last longer. So it's really good. And then you can use these bags over and over again. You can wash them. I think it says you could use it 20 times or something. So anyways, so my idea is, why can't we make a big bag like this for humans? It's easy, right? You just make this a little bit bigger. And then if I sleep in this every night, you think I can live forever? But I thought, I wonder why no one's ever thought of this up to now. It's like, wow, we can do, so much with just this simple bag. I don't want to put it over my head right now, but I thought if we could make a blanket or something out of this, and then we can live for maybe 100 or 200 years. And that's how hopeless I am. That's how hopeless I am. I have a very, very close friend that's very, very, unlike me, he's very religious, and he studies a lot about Buddhism, and he's very respected in the community. And one day I'd gone over to his house to help him clean the garden, and I'm from Fresno, so I'm used to working out in the fields and things. But my friend's a city boy, and I don't think he had ever touched a shovel in his life until that day. And so we were there cleaning the garden, and all of a sudden I look over, and he's laying on the ground, and he's holding his heart like this, and I thought, uh-oh, something's wrong. And he tells me, I have heart pain. So we called 911, and they came, and he was fine. They checked him out, and he was fine. And so afterwards, we were having a beer, since he was okay to drink. And I asked him, at that moment when you were dying, I didn't hear you say Namo Amida Butsu. And he goes, to be truthful, that thought never came to my mind. I just was worried about dying at that moment. And I said, yeah, but did you even see the Buddha coming to get you? And he said, no. And I said, well, maybe that's a good thing. If the Buddha was coming to get you, then you wouldn't be here. But he said, no, that was the furthest thought from my mind. I was just thinking about dying. And I think to myself now, well, that goes to show how hopeless we are, how nasakenai we are. That even at that moment of death, or possible death, we each only think of ourselves. So you may think, oh, well, maybe I'm not such a good person then, if that's how I think that way. I'm sure none of you think that way. You're probably all much better than me. But that's how I would think. I have no desire to go to the Pure Land. But on the other hand, this sense of hopelessness, or this actually being hopeless, is probably the most wonderful gift that I've ever received in my life. For once, I'm proud to say I'm hopeless. I'm totally, totally hopeless. I don't know, like many of you, I'm pretty hopeless with my cell phone. I could barely receive calls and do some text messaging, and anything else, Facebook and Instagram and all that. The kids tell me, you better not do it. It's too dangerous for you. You're going to get in trouble if you do it. So I don't do those kind of things. I just figured, well, I'm one of the old people now, so I can't do those kind of things. But this whole sense of being totally hopeless and lost is actually a great gift. In my work with the Buddhist Foundation, I encounter many Buddhists from all different paths, different Buddhist paths. And some of my closest friends and associates and teachers are Zen priests. I've helped and advised a Nichiren Buddhist organization. And one of my closest friends and teachers is a Theravada monk. And I was also able to get the first Jodo Shinshu, or book on Jodo Shinshu in English, into Barnes & Noble and all the major bookstores by working together with my friend that owns the largest American Buddhist publishing company here. And he happens to be a Tibetan Buddhist. So I come in contact with all these people who have different practices, and most of them are pretty diligent with what they do and how they act and how devoted they are to their practices. You know, I'm sure you have friends that meditate for hours, or other friends who do chanting for hours. There's even a new Buddhist sect in Japan that their practice is cleaning toilets. It's kind of a strange practice, but gets toilets cleaned all over Japan, I guess. But these people really diligently practice all these things. And then there are many people who think, well, if I do good, I will get a good place in the Pure Land, or I will be rewarded by the Buddha for doing something good. But for those of us that follow this Nembutsu path, and for someone hopeless like me, the promise of Amida's great vow to save all beings, and to save even someone that's totally hopeless like me, and that I am accepted totally as I am right now, is really amazing to me. And I'm so glad that I won't be judged and I won't be forsaken to hell for all the sins that I have committed in my life. So even with all of my hopelessness, I am so grateful that the Buddha's promise, the Amida Buddha, the Buddha of infinite compassion and wisdom, has made his great vow, the primal vow, that all of us can be saved, that all of us will return to the Pure Land when the time comes. There's nothing else for me to do. I don't need to spend hours and hours trying to do some practice or trying to make myself seem better, because in the end, I know it's only my ego acting. But each year, we have this opportunity to come together at Obon time. And we have the opportunity to spend a few moments and think about our loved ones, our family, and friends, and all life that have been so important to each and every one of us. I am so grateful that the Buddha has been there to greet each and every one of our loved ones and our friends when they reach the Pure Land. And I am also so grateful that this great promise was made for each of us, and especially for the hopeless me. But knowing that we have been given this great promise from the Amida Buddha also instills upon us that we have a responsibility to express our gratitude through our lives. When we work and live each day, we should live and work each day to the fullest. Do your best in whatever you can do. Help others if you can. In this time of COVID, I think all of us have been kind of shut in. But I think it's been especially hard on elderly and those that live alone. I hope, sincerely hope, that our members who are watching here this morning at home are staying safe and healthy. And to remember to smile and recite Namo Amida Butsu in gratitude every day. We are truly blessed and lucky to be here today. And for us, as I said, Obon is an occasion of joy. It's a joy, a sense of joy in celebrating that our loved ones are within the embrace of the Buddha, and that we should be grateful for the promise that has been given to each of us. I hope each of you will continue to cherish the memories of your loved one we remember this weekend. And I hope you remember to cherish each moment of your life. During this this COVID pandemic, I hope everyone will keep healthy and safe and live each day to the fullest together with Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So as I did yesterday, for those of you who can, I have to give a short message in Japanese. So if you don't understand Japanese, or at least my poor Japanese, please spend a few moments relaxing. 皆様おはようございます。この度お盆お参りさせてありがとうございます。僕は、ブライアン永田と申します。一応僕はサンフランシスコベイエリアから、来られまして、高田先生の紹介で、すごい今日はこの中ちょっと暑いけど、ロサンゼルスはすごく特にウェストロサンゼルス涼しいですね。 僕は本当ありがたいですし、私三豊会社にお勤めてますし、三豊株式会社が世界の会社で、精密機械作ります。一応、もうそろそろ90年になりますね、会社が始まって。で、この近くCity of Industry に倉庫とオフィスありますし、でこの三豊の会社、三豊の名前も、一応仏教の言葉で、三つが3ね、三つで、東洋が、この、ブッダ・ダルマ・サンガの仏法僧の意味でございますし、で今、世界で一番大きい精密機械の会社でなりました。ある会社が何か作りましたら大体うちの機械を使いますし、うちの一番大きいお客さんがトヨタですね。それでうちの発願者が沼田恵範さんの方で、広島の浄土真宗のお寺の生まれで、もう100年前、開教師法でアメリカに西恩願寺の紹介でアメリカに来て、ロサンゼルス別院におられましたので、その時英語の勉強のためホリウッドハイスクール行かれました。でホリウッドハイスクールから卒業してユニバーシティ・オブ・カリフォルニア・バークリーに行かれまして、でそこ、大学と大学院に卒業しました。でその時代もう100年前ぐらい日本の、差別がすごいひどかったね、戦争始まる前に。それで沼田さんが、何かしないとね、一応日本人が悪い方じゃないからアメリカ人にそれを教えたかったんで、UC バークレーの2世の学生と一緒に雑誌作ったの。でこの雑誌が、日本の文化と歴史といろいろ日本の言葉を英語にみんな教えてたんで、この雑誌がなかなかねうまくいかなかったんで、お金が足りなかったんで、ちょうどその頃がディプレッションの時代だったからお金がなかったしね、みんな。それで沼田さんがもう自分の人生の中何かやりたかったら自分のお金がないと何もできません。人のお金がディペンドができませんから、なんとか自分のお金がないと何もできません。それでこの三豊の会社を作って、で今でもこの三豊の会社が、沼田家族が株が全部持ってます。でうちの会社もちょっと普通の会社と違って、普通は利益会社が寄付しますね。プロフィットね。プロフィットからいろんな会社に寄付しますし、けどうちの会社の場合はね、売上の 1% が仏教のために寄付します。だからある時に会社もダウンの時に赤字のプロフィットがないなのね、利益がありません。その時でもお金がちゃんと 1% 仏教のために出ます。そんな会社ないと思いますね、今と思うね。それで世界でいろいろやりますし、この近くに UCLA 沼田仏教講座のプログラムがありますし、他の言葉が先ほど紹介して「Teaching a Buddha Book」もそれ、900万冊印刷してますし、世界で40 2カ国語に本を出してますし、それと沼田さんが昔の考え、お釈迦様の教えを中国語、いろんなチベット、コリアン、中国語、タイ語、ベトナム語、みんなちゃんとありますけど、仏教がアメリカとヨーロッパ行くためにこのほとんどの教え英語に翻訳しないといけんの気持ちがあって、じゃあ始まろう彼言ってね。それで、お釈迦様の教えね、この大きさの本がね100冊あるの。それで、7000ぐらいのいろんな言葉がものが書いてるしね、お経といろいろで、このプロジェクトは、1980年始まって、もう40年でまだね70冊しか、翻訳してないしね。だから僕まだ200年か300年まだ仕事続けます。まだまだこのプロジェクトが残りますし、でもうちの沼田さんがそんな世界のため仏教を広めるために彼がやりたかったね。それで私三豊からこの仏教伝道協会に、手伝いに行って、どうしても仏様の仕事をするんだったら僧侶になった方がいいから、それで私一応僧侶になりましたけど、僕ももう全然僕みたいな人間がね僧侶にならない方がいいと思うけど、すごく恥ずかしいですから、一応できるほど仏教のため私がやりますし、でもここまで自分の人生の中に見ましたら、僕も67歳になりまして、やっと分かったの、何万人のおかげでね、私のおかげでね、皆さんの力、皆さんの、コンパッション、みんなの手伝ってくれて、みんな許してこともあるし、いろいろ人生の中いろいろあって、僕ここまで来て本当にありがたいですしね。お釈迦様と親鸞様がよく煩悩の話しますしね。それと三毒、貪嗔痴の話しますしね。でも僕自分の人生見ましたら、どうしてもこれしかないなのね。この僧侶の訃報来ても僕がもうそれでもホープレスなのね。情けないですね。僕ダイアベティック、糖尿ですね。けど僕どうしてもね、アップルパイかおまんじゅうかあんパンかなんかいただいたらどうしても食べますよ。食べてもね、これおいしいおいしいおいしい、でもこれ食べたら死ぬかなと思いが全然出ないね。本当に僕情けないね。小さい時僕のひいおじいちゃんとひいおばあちゃんいました。もうすごいラッキーだったしね。でひいおじいちゃんが亡くなる時にうちのお父さんから聞かれまして、じいちゃんの最後の言葉がね、ちゃんとずっと林番、あの頃の林番先生も一緒だったし、でおじいちゃんがね、最後の言葉がね、死にたくない死にたくない、 何万だ何万だ、死にたくない死にたくない。で最初、これどういう意味かなと思ってたけど、この死にたくない死にたくないの言葉がね、忘れない僕はね。おじいちゃんの最後の最後でも死にたくなかったしね。でもそれが人間の煩悩ですね。親鸞様がそうの話もしましたね。おじいちゃんがこのシャバの世界から出たくなかったしね。全然お浄土行きたくなかったしね。私も同じですね。私もお浄土、行けないと思うけどな。行きたくないし。先ほど僕ちょっと紹介したね、この緑の袋見たことあるかな。これベッドバス&ビヨンドから来てね、野菜と果物この中に入れたら、2週間3週間ある時もう1ヶ月ぐらい果物が持てますしね。でこの袋がね、小さい見えない穴が開いてるのね。で生きてるもの、果物と野菜もいだらギャスが自然に出ますし、なくなるのギャスが出ます。それでバナナが早めにダメになるね。でこの袋の中に入れたらギャスが自然に出ますから、ギャスの周りがないので、僕の考えがね、これも西ロスのお寺もね、お金儲けると思うけど、このバッグがね、大きくしてスリーピングバッグみたいに人間のために作って、この中に寝ちゃったらいつまでもまで生きられるかな。こんな簡単にね、こんな袋で大きくして人間サイズぐらいね、で毎晩寝るときにこの中に寝ちゃったら長生きできるかな。200年ぐらい、ね、生きるかな。どうかな。ちょっとホープレスかな僕がこんな考えができたらやりたいけど、本当に僕がホープレスの人間ですね。けどこのホープレス、この情けないのいいところがね、私のため阿弥陀様が本願を作りました。僕みたいな何にもできない方がね、本願があるから何にも心配しなくてもいいし、時間来ましたらちゃんとお浄土にね、仏様に待ってますしね。僕が仏教伝道協会にお勤めてますので、いろんな仏教徒の方、いろんな宗派から来てる人が会うし、で友達もなってますし、でみんなすごい熱心な修行しますしね。禅宗、外宗の友達がね、座禅やりますし、日蓮の方がね、チャンティングしますね。お経をあげてね、いろいろ。日本にある新興宗教、トイレのお掃除もしますしね。それが修行です。でも僕みたいなね、本当にホープレスの人間、情けない人間がね、何にもできない。やってもできないのね。でもそれがいいところですよ。その人たちね、他の仏教の道歩いてる方がね、その方がその道がちゃんと合ってるけど、僕みたいね、何にも分からんし何にもできないし、けどちゃんと道がある。ちゃんと 仏様、阿弥陀様がブライアンのためこの念仏の道を作りました。もしあなたたちも同じような気持ちがあれば、一緒に念仏の道も歩きましょう。一緒に南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏大切にして、阿弥陀様の明るい顔を毎日見て、ありがとう、阿弥陀様ありがとう、仏さんありがとうございます、皆さんのおかげで今日命をいただいて本当にありがとうございますの気持ちで毎日生きていきましょう。僕も何にもできないし、今日もいい言葉も教えられないけど、僕の心から皆さん一緒に念仏を心の中に守ってください。ありがとうございます。どうも。南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏。アマンダー。
Thank you so much, Reverend Nagata, for your messages both in English and Japanese this morning. Next, we will have the reading of Ryogemon.
Please join me in reciting Ryogemon, Words of Understanding of Our Tradition, written by Master Renyo. We rely upon Amida Buddha with our whole heart for the enlightenment in the life to come, abstaining from all sundry practices and teachings, and giving up the trust in our imperfect view. There is no doubt that the assurance of enlightenment comes at the very moment we entrust and we recite the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, in joy and gratitude for the Buddha's compassion. We also acknowledge gratefully the benign benevolence of our founder and succeeding masters who have led us to live in this profound teaching. And we do now endeavor to follow throughout our lives the way laid down for us. Ryoge Shutsugon. Moro moro no zogyo zashu jiriki no kokoro o furistete isshin ni Amida nyorai warera ga kondo no ichidaiji no gosho on tasuke sorai to tanomi moshite soro tanomu ichine no toki Ojo ichijo on tasuke jijo to zonji. Kono ue no shomyo wa goon hosha to zonji. Yorokobi moshisoro. Kono on kotowari chomon moshiwake soro koto. Go kaisan shonin go shussei no goon. Shidai sojo no zenjishiki no asakara zaru go kanke no go on to arigataku zonji soro. Kono ue wa sadame okaseraru on okite ichigo kagiri mamori mosu beku soro. Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda.
Thank you, Sensei. Now we have a few announcements. The first, we do offer a yoga at the temple, albeit it's via Zoom right now. But this is a very gentle yoga class. So if this is something that you would like to try, we do offer it every second and fourth Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. The class is free, but donations are appreciated. And if you are interested, please send an email to wladharmacenter@gmail.com. Then, as Reverend Nagata mentioned, we do have West LA t-shirts that are available for purchase. Very nice design. We have two styles, one crew neck for men, a V-neck for women, and they're $20 each. Now, both of these flyers are available on our website at WLABT.org. And finally, this will be our last Sunday service until September 11th. Okay, September 11th. August is normally a dark month for us, and that gives the opportunity for the senseis to enjoy a vacation or two. So this concludes our service for today. Again, thank you all for attending. If you have not had a chance to do a shoko, please do so at the conclusion. So again, have a great rest of the summer, and we will see you back on the 11th of September. Okay.
Thank you very much. Please offer incense.